now watching Chad 76 Media.
Sunshine, palm trees, Ducati, southern Spain. Doesn't get much better than this. Conditions are absolutely perfect for a near 250 kilometer road ride on the new Street Fighter V4. So let me give you a little spin round. So it is essentially a Panigale V4 naked, which is what we tested a couple of weeks ago in Seville, on track only, not on road. Exactly the same engine as the Panigale V4, exactly the same torque. The power and torque curves are exactly the same. You can overlap the two engines because they are exactly the same. This is obviously the new engine for the Street Fighter, which is considerably lighter than the previous engine. It's actually 1 kilogram less than the Panigale V4. So the 955 has been discontinued and we're in with the new engine. We're at 120 horsepower, 175 kilograms, and everything is carried over from the Panigale V4. So we have the only suspension, front and rear, which is manually adjustable, slightly different settings because of the ergonomics and how you sit on the bike. The wheelbase is a little bit longer, so it's a unique swinging arm for the Street Fighter V4 over the Panigale V4, but the same rider aids, the same rider modes, the same electronics, the same dash, the same switchgear as the Panigale V4. It's going to be interesting because we didn't really get to play with the switchgear and some of the rider aids on the Pan V4 because that was on track and we're on road, and we've got over 200 kilometers to do today, so it should be an interesting test. Price wise, we're looking at around just under 16,000 for the S version, so it is a little bit pricey, and it'll be interesting to see if that drop in power compared to the 955 is noticeable. But it is 18 kilograms less than the old bike, and it's 1 kilogram less than the Panigale V4, which it was incredibly light. So they're quoting 175 kilograms for the S version. So we'll give you a bit of a technical walkabout later on, and then we'll give you a verdict.
We've done kind of like probably an hour and a bit, maybe a bit more riding this morning. Most of it has kind of been like this, which is pretty gentle. Normally on a Ducati Lodge we can't stretch its legs a little bit, but it's all been fairly, well, legal, to be fair. But what that does, it gives us the opportunity to play with the dash. So it's a new 5-inch dash, new switch gear. I think the cruise control is optional, I'll double check. It's pretty easy to use, pretty straightforward. On the right hand side you've got the traction control, wheelie control, engine brake, ABS. There's 3 different dashes you can choose between. I think I might be able to switch them. So there's your, it's a bit more racy. Still got the engine brake and all the rider aids down the right hand side. And then we've got this one, which is kind of a bit more toury, a bit more information. And you haven't got what rider aids you've got on that one. So yeah, they're quite easy to flick between. Setting the trips is easy, you've got all that information down on the bottom. They've got 191 kilometer range. Averaging 5 litres, 100k at the moment. Yeah, it's all pretty easy. And straightforward, it's really clear as well. I don't think the switchgear is the most attractive switchgear I've ever seen, but yeah, it's all pretty neat. This is nice and neat. The all-ins top, still got key, not keyless. Mirrors, yeah, they're alright actually, they're not bad. Suspension is manually adjustable, fully adjustable all-ins. It's not semi-active. When I change the modes, it has no reference to the suspension. It just changes the power characteristics and it changes the rider aids. Engine is the new V4, so it's no longer the 995. It's a lot lighter than it was before, but considerably lighter, but we're down on power, down on torque. Ducati are claiming that it's got loads of low bottom end, and yeah, it feels quite punchy off the bottom. It's lost a lot of that snatchiness as well, like you could be in a high gear at low RPM and it doesn't feel like a twin. But the sound's really nice. When you come down a few gears in the high RPM, Yeah, it sounds really good for a standard bike. The quick shifter's worth a mention as well. It's super smooth. Really smooth on up and down shifts. So I've got cruise control on the left bar, which I can accelerate and de-accelerate quite easy. There's no radar, so it's not adaptive or anything like that, but for me, I don't know if I'd pay the extra money for it, because I don't know how many motorway miles I'd do on a naked Street Fighter. But yeah, it's simple to operate. I've also got a, let's switch that back on. I've also got a pit lane limiter, which it's a little bit strange, because like pit lane limiters have always, you know, everybody's going, oh, I got pit lane limiter for when I come down pit lane at Donington Park. But there's so many speed cameras in the UK now that I end up using pit lane limiters. So you know, when you got the average 30s and average 40s, just set the pit lane limiter and away you go. But there is literally nobody about, and we are bang on the speed limit. This is the most legal ride I think I've ever done.
We have just stopped for lunch. Everybody's joining a big barbecue thing, but I thought I'd nip out to this very unglamorous car park and tell you a little bit more technical details about the bike. So let me see if I've got it all right. So Panigale V2 that we rode, what was that, 4 weeks ago in Seville. This is obviously the naked version, so a lot is carried over. So we've got the all-in suspension is the same, as in same components but with different settings. Wheels are the same, the frame is the same, the engine is exactly the same power, same torque as the Panigale V2. The gearing is the same. The wheelbase is a little bit longer. The rake and trail has changed a little bit because we're on a naked bike. They're quoting 175 kilograms, which is a wet weight, no fuel. That's for the S. Seat height is 838 millimeters. We've got a huge amount of rider aids, as you'd expect. Race, sport, road and wet, as in the rider modes. That changes the power modes, which is high, medium and load. And that also changes all the Ducati advanced electronics, like the traction control, the wheelie control, the engine brake and the Ducati power launch and pit limiter. Additionally to all of that, we've got 120 horsepower at 10,750 RPM, 93 newton meters of torque at 8.2. Ducati claim that 80% of the torque is from 4,000 to 11,000. There is optional cruise control fitted to this model, which I'll just show you. We've got a new complete dash, we've got new complete switchgear, and it's incredibly light and incredibly agile. I think I've remembered everything. Basically, a Panigale V2 with a slightly longer wheelbase and 1 kilogram lighter, and obviously straight bars.
Ducati closed road. Happy days. Oh, the joy. No. What a lovely. It's a bit warm. So you can change all the rider aids, which is what I've done. So I've got ABS on just front only now. Which is way more. Just fun. And it's like easy and manageable. I'm not breaking into a sweat, not scaring myself. Wow, that is such a sweet little handling bike. There's a lot of riders that go faster, safer, smoother on this little thing than they would on other bikes. Let's start thinking about a verdict as we are heading back to the hotel. It's difficult, I know it's a bit cliche, to actually find a fault with the V2. It is expensive, and in this class there are a lot of exciting, fun bikes, but I don't think there's any as desirable or has better rider rates and can be, I don't know, maybe more appealing to lots of different riders. The 120 horsepower is probably going to be sniffed at by a few people, but on the roads that we've ridden today, it has been more than adequate. You've got this kind of almost like a single cylinder low down power, and then you've got a bit of top end like above 10,000, well above 9, and you can really like chase the revs like it's the Panigale V2, or you can ride it like a road bike like the Street Fighter. You can ride it effortlessly around town, you can turn up the rider rates, or you can create your own mode, which is what I've done. I've got sport with ABS on one, wheelie off, and a bit of traction. I think it looks great, I think it handles so well. This manual adjustable suspension, it's worked on every type of road we've thrown at it. Like, I would quite happily ride this bike to Cadwell Park tomorrow, ride it in this trim, with this suspension, with these tyres. The only time you're going to change the suspension, I think, is if you put proper track day tyres and you went to a track, which it is more than capable of doing, or if you fitted the pillion seat, the pillion pegs, it took a pillion, you might want to change the suspension a bit. But otherwise it has worked in 99.9% of all conditions. The brakes that I thought may have lacked a tiny bit on track, they're not style lemons, they're just the M50s. They're brilliant on this bike, absolutely brilliant. They just match it perfectly. The rider aids are superb when the traction kicks in. It doesn't bang, it doesn't misfire, it just grabs the slide and brings it back. Some of these roads are really dusty and slippery, and I've been deliberately banging in the traction just to see what happens. It's playful, it's joyful, it's easy to ride, it looks good, it's desirable. It says Ducati on the side. I love the sound of it, the soul of it, the grunt of it. The twin exhausts look great. A little burble on the overrun. I wouldn't change anything about the bike. It's got the optional cruise control fitted. I probably wouldn't even bother, because you're not really going to go touring on it. Well, I don't think so. I'm quite small, it fits me perfectly well. I don't know if it would fit a bigger rider, but the bigger riders that I've spoken to don't seem to have a problem with it. The bars are wider than they were before. I think if you was to drag race it or put it on a track against the old bike, because it's got more power, then it'd lose out, I think, because, you know, we are losing, you know, we're going from 150 horsepower ish to 120 horsepower ish, but it's just so light, so agile, so playful, so fun. But as I said, the only thing is, you know, there's other bikes in this category that are also joyful, fun, playful, but for me not as desirable, not as exotic, and don't have the usability of all this tech. So yeah, it's really interesting. In many ways I think I'd maybe have the naked one over the fully faired one. The fully faired one's going to be better on track, but because it uses the same power, same torque, same suspension, same brakes, you're only going to lose out a little bit with aerodynamically on top speed, really. So if you're never actually going to go on track, then the Street Fighter makes more sense than the Panigale. I think it looks great as well. I mean, the Panigale looks great, and sometimes the Street Fighter was like the ugly sister. Not ugly sister, but like 8 out of 10 when the Panigale was 10 out of 10. But I think this is 9 out of 10 and the Panigale is 10 out of 10. It's almost as desirable. As I said, when you're really struggling to find a fault, it's pricey, but all Ducatis are. Yeah, you see my problem. Can't really find a fault with it. Can't wait to ride the group test because I like this category of bike. There's on the road this kind of 115, 10ish to 130, 40 horsepower is really cool.